Hi guys, it's James Layton here. Today this video is all about going back to basics, focusing on what's important, what's not important, and there's so many different aspects of the fitness industry that are kind of focusing on the irrelevant stuff, the stuff that's not relevant to you. So for example, I know the majority of my audience is typically people with body composition goals, so people who want to build muscle or lose fat. So for example, most of these individuals train once a day. So if you're an athlete training twice a day with 2 glycogen depleting workouts, things like nutrient timing and meal frequency within them 2 sessions is very important. Things like speed of glycogen resynthesis. Whereas if you're training once per day, your following sessions at least 24 hours away, things like speed of glycogen resynthesis isn't really an issue. It's more about hitting total carbohydrate intake by the end of the day, and by default glycogen resynthesis will take care of itself. Okay, so there's 3 main components that I really want to drive through to you today, and there's 2 nutrition related ones, 1 training one. So first one, nutrition, is just tracking food intake. You'll be really surprised just having this one concept in place will make a massive difference, purely because you just become so much more aware of how calorically dense certain foods are. So tracking food intake is number 1. More specifically on that, it's important to track calories and macronutrients, and this can be very simple with things like MyFitnessPal, etc. However, you do need to be careful because MyFitnessPal basically puts generic, especially protein figures, is way too low because it's on government guidelines. But the premise is track food intake, calories, macronutrients. That's very, very important. Second thing, going on to training. Most people are kind of obsessed with this muscle confusion nonsense. Essentially, people think they need to change their workout every single session, and that's ridiculous. There needs to be progression in place. So you can't track whether you're making progress or not if you're changing your workout every single session. So the goal should be adding weight to the bar, progressive overload, adding more volume, so more total sets, even density as well, which is basically doing the same amount of work in less time. So these are 3 things here: tracking calories, tracking macronutrients, progressive overload with your training. So I hope this really helps. Start implementing these today, because just having these 3 in place, and then it's all about measuring and then making changes depending on how you progress. So fat loss predominantly, your calories are going to be slowly coming down, with likely increases in energy expenditure, so for instance more cardio, etc. But make sure that foundation of resistance training is in place. Obviously if your goal is muscle growth, the majority of the surplus is going to be from carbohydrates, just to basically support new weights being used in the gym. So if you're getting stronger, you need then carbohydrates to support that growth. Okay, so I hope you found this really useful. If you haven't already liked my channel so far, or subscribe and share on Facebook, Twitter. Thank you very much.